Hey guys, Drew here again, and today's a sad day, but it's also a very good day. Today I get rid of my beloved Camaro 1LE. It's one of my favorite cars in my fleet on the Toro platform, and I'm going to tell you the real numbers on this car, what I've done with it, the actual profit that we made, and then I'll tell you exactly why I'm getting rid of it. Thanks for joining. Why am I getting rid of it? The bottom line is this car, if I would keep for another 2 more years, it's still got almost 2 years left of the powertrain warranty, which would cover my engine and transmission and so forth. But I could probably bring in a lot of income. I just put in, within the last 8 months, I put in the clutch and the brakes. So, you know, I'm selling a vehicle that I've just put money in. I could get another $15,000, $20,000 out of the clutch minimum. And, you know, probably in most situations it wouldn't be a good time to sell, except three things actually. One, the car is just out of its bumper to bumper warranty, so now I got to start worrying about electronics and that kind of stuff going. Powertrain's good for a little bit. Two is Toro's big changes. Toro just changed their mileage requirement from, all of my cars are typically around 150, which is enough for people to have a good time, but not enough for people to drive it to freaking Florida and totally kill the depreciation on the vehicle. It just changed it. Pretty much, it's mandatory across the board. Every vehicle, with the exception of the higher level vehicles and you know, the certain higher level, higher priced vehicles, to 200 miles a day. And on a 7-day weekly rental, that's 1,400 miles that people can put in your car. So if you got newer, nicer cars, man, that can totally crush your ROI. So one, the bumper bumpers expired. Two, the Toro change to the 200 miles is just going to really hammer this type of a vehicle as far as depreciation. Number three is Toro made a big change about 3-4 months ago, to where in order to get that sweet spot of 70% income and up, you actually have to add a $250 deductible. If you want 75%, it's $750 deductible. If you want 85%, it's $1,750 deductible. So what does that mean? That means when someone rents your car and they physically cause damage, whatever the damage is that Toro pays out to you, you got to deduct a $250 deductible, $750 deductible, $1,750 deductible. That's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling when, you know, damage is done to your car, you had no part of doing it. You're on the, you put it on the Toro platform to, you know, the reason you have it on the platform is you're expecting that the insurance is going to cover any damage that a renter is going to do, and now you got to take a portion of you know, the money from that damage right off the top. So that's not a good thing. This type of car is much more susceptible to damage. The car sits low to the ground. The car is a sports car, so it's going to bring in people who could be, you know, or potentially cause damage. You know, the visibility on this car is not the best if someone hasn't driven a Camaro before. So there's a lot of things that goes with that. And this car is much more at risk with the new Toro policies. Look, the Toro host community is in an uproar right now. If you get any of these in the forums or the groups, there's a big backlash. I think there's a good chance that Toro may end up trying to find changing this policy, or trying to find taking a step back to be a little bit more friendlier to the host, because it's probably the biggest change that they've made that can affect, you know, our income. And this is why you have to be smart with your strategy. You got to be constantly changing, you know, what you do to make sure that it falls in line. In my opinion, we're going to talk about this in the future. If Toro keeps this policy in place, both of those policies, you're going to have to go to totally different types of vehicles. The higher end vehicles or the super low end vehicles, those middle ground newer vehicles are going to get hammered. The other thing you're going to have to change is going to vehicles that are less susceptible to damage. Vehicles like a Jeep Gladiator, vehicles like smaller trucks. I've had a ZR2, the Colorado ZR2 on the market, which was an awesome vehicle. very little, two and a half years of rental income and not a single damage at all because it sits up. It's got 2-inch lift. There's a lot of good things about that. We'll do a separate video deep dive as far as that goes. But this car is much more susceptible to losing a lot of your profit based on the deductible